Hey, what's up, everyone? Today, my topic is going to be talking about failures. I know, like the last 2 days, we've been talking about taking action and diving deep into action. And when you do stuff that requires action, there's going to be either something that's going to happen that's positive or something that's going to happen negative. But both of the things have to happen in order for you to succeed in some form or fashion. You don't get success and you don't go and do the things that you want to do without failing. So failing is necessary. I want you to embrace it because without the failure, you will not know what it is to succeed. So with that being said, anything that's worth having, you'll have to go through some level of setback, because if it's worthwhile, you'll go through those tough times. And a lot of the times you have to go through the hardest thing ever. You have to let go of certain stuff. There's going to be a huge amount of uncomfortability, but that's where growth happens. You cannot grow by doing the exact same thing you've done. If you've done the exact same thing you've done before, that's not considered growth. When you experience something that's hard, that's difficult, that sets you back, that was challenging, and you learn from that, that's where growth happens. So I don't want you to view failure as something that's negative, but I want you to view failure as something that is a necessary means for you to get better. And if the more times you fail, those are more lessons that you can take it for what it is, and then you can get to the level that you're supposed to be on. And I've started kind of like diving into my own failures throughout life. I've also tried to look at how, when, and just, the makeup of failure. So there's three main points that I look at whenever I'm discussing or thinking about failure. I think about first, how, next is what, and then the third one is why. So how, what, and why. And when I am reflecting back on failures, whether it was business or relationships, just anything that I failed in, I think about how did I fail, what was the thing, and more often than not, it's because I had I didn't understand the vision. I didn't have a clear vision. So that's kind of like how I failed. What did I fail in? Failing is what happens, like what happened in it. There's types of choices that I made. So what choices did I make? What strategy did I do? What did I do then that when I was younger, or what did I do at that current state that I didn't understand and I still made that same decision? Like those are the what's, and whatever strategy I took, that was ultimately what got me to the point that I'm at right then. Then the last one is why. And more often than not, the why is why of like a lack of understanding. I failed at this, and why did this happen? Because I didn't understand something clear enough, or I didn't have enough of the information, which is a lack of misunderstanding still in that particular thing. So how, what, and why. Now, some things I want to leave you with are I guess, tips to overcome it and to be successful in the next venture out. And this way you're not feeling completely like, well, yeah, we've heard about failure, we talk about failure, but I don't ever know how to get out of failure. I'm just constantly failing all over the place. So some solutions is to look at your current process, look what you did in the past, and then measure the results. I've been faced with a lot of things to where I have to kind of backtrack or reverse engineer something. And when I start reverse engineering, I notice that I've done this thing wrong, and I have to constantly readjust and make the revisions in order to do something better. So when I start going through that process and I start thinking like, okay, well, I did this is the result, this is the outcome. Let me do something a little bit different. Let me measure that for that duration of time, and then let me see what the outcome is, and then constantly make the adjustments and revisions throughout that time. So that's one of the solutions I do. The next one would be, I got to make a change quickly, because if you notice that you're in that situation and you don't like it, or you know that the ship is sinking, you got to get out of there. You got to exit quickly and do something different. So I like to make quick and very fast decisions in that state, but know that I'm also still working on making a revision and making adjustments from what I just did previously. But I got to act fast. Third is going to be take like an inventory of what I've been doing. So I got to look at what's around me, what's currently in my life, what's not in my life, what do I need to have in my life, and start pulling those things in or pushing those things out, so I can now start making the right space in order for me to progress and grow where I have to grow. Sometimes you have to get rid of the things that are the most comfortable to you, so you can allow that thing to, or that next thing to come in. But I have to take inventory of what I have, like what resources do I have, what things were keeping me back, what things are an issue that is no longer going to be an issue anymore because I've like cut it and got rid of it. So I think about those things. Then I also think about, she's really kind of like, all this is going to be hard stuff, and the harder the work, the better the reward. So kind of like risk versus reward. But I also think about if I've now made adjustments, constantly revising, and now I've taken inventory of what I'm doing and I'm just constantly reworking the process, there will be more, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? There will be there's a level where you start understanding, like when you walk along the same kind of steps that you did in the past, but you know, like if I make this wrong turn, it got me to this decision. So now I'm making all these steps similar, but then I can make the correct turn, the right turn, and now you've recognized it and you're able to move forward. So you have to recognize where all those things went wrong with the current stuff that you did, and then make the right turn to get to where you want to be at. And then the last thing, and I think the most important thing to do, is eliminate all the negativity. Eliminate the negative person, eliminate the negative thoughts. Put this as put this a huge distance between you and the things that you felt were the holdback. I feel like if you eliminate those things, you get so much more clarity and stuff, because those negativity actions, people, or whatever, they were probably the reason why you failed, because you lost your vision at some point. And I will add this to this as well, because it goes hand in hand. But you got to have some non-negotiable things that you're going to no longer tolerate. So if you eliminate the negative people and the reason why they were negative, or eliminate the negative actions or thoughts that they did, you're going to make sure that you have a hard barrier or a hard wall that is not going to allow those things to come back into it. So if you got rid of those people, if you got rid of those thoughts, mindsets, actions, or whatever, you put a barrier, that way it never comes back in there. And you can't, give into it at all. You have to be firm, solid, and secure, knowing like that will never happen again. And this is the reason why it won't happen again. So you become aware of those things too. So, last part was just eliminate the negative thoughts, people, actions, whatever, and then make sure that you have a hard barrier so it never happens again. So that's some, I'm just gonna say that's my way that I've looked and viewed failures. But without the failures, y'all, you cannot have an experienced success. So embrace the failures. Don't be fearful of the failures. Know that they will happen, but also be willing to know when to make the change, and that's going to benefit you. So leave you with that, and we'll talk tomorrow and dive a little bit more into some other stuff. All right, talk to you later. Bye.